Alright, so I wanted to show how I put my power supply in. Um, this is kind of different than I've seen them before, but it came with this little cover, and you just put in the little black screws onto the power supply, and then the cover has two screws here, and I just fed it in, just slid it in, and there's cables coming outside there. And once you mount the bezel, I guess you call it, on, you just slide it in, and then we can just screw it down, and that's what holds it on. So it's kind of neat. Usually power supplies I've seen, these screws went straight into the case, so it's kind of a different design. But you just slide it in and drape your cables out the side. You have to do some cable management later, but that's how I put my power supply in. So next I'm going to attempt to put my motherboard in there. Here's my motherboard. So kind of the two big things I'm worrying about is, well, I can't really control any of this, but I just look at the main power supplies. It looks like its connector's going to go here and here, and then there's this is the main back panel, so it'll only go in one way, and all these cables just run to all the different features, like your power button and your different jacks on the front. And this is my power supply cables, and luckily on my case there's lots of places where I can get cable management through, and it looks like my hard drives are supposed to go here. That's kind of neat. You unscrew this and you can swing this out. Probably not at this time going to use a hard drive because I got that internal one in there. And so all I'm going to do is lay this down and try to figure out how to mount this. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like I got to find the plate that covers this up. It's around here somewhere. Okay, next I just installed this, they call it the I/O shield. I just went from the inside here, and you just put it on and you just push it in place and it snaps into place. So first you want to look at your actual motherboard and make sure you don't put it in upside down or something, but it's pretty straightforward. So now that's in. Alright, so next thing I'm going to do is put, I call these motherboard standoffs. I've got 8 of them, and they just, what they're going to go is they're going to go in the case to give my motherboard a place to sit on. And if you look, there should be 8 of these little holes here. Here's one. They're kind of hard to see because it's black on black. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So what I got to kind of do is position this over here and then put those in by hand. It's kind of neat. I've never seen this before. Actually, this little black piece is supposedly like a screw. It'll fit on there just as a Phillips screw slot on the other end. I've never used a tool to put those on. I just kind of, I guess you could, anyways, I'm just going to put these in and make sure they line up with those holes there. And I'm going to put those inside the case. Okay, so I got all my little screws in there. I did use the little tool they provided to tighten them down so they'd sit down all the way. And they give you one, like a black post, and that's actually kind of like an alignment piece. So all I'll do is I'll take my motherboard, I'll pick it up, and this is those input output port side. I'll take that and I'll line that up in there, and then this one's, it's raised, so I'll just seat it in here, and that'll cause all those posts to line up on all these holes there. And then I'll put some screws in there, hold that down. So let me, just going to put this in. It's just me wrangling it around in there, and I'll show you what it looks like when I get it in. Okay, that went in really easy. The lighting's not probably too good in here, but so that black post that sticks up is right there, and that kind of lined the whole board up. And if you look, like, here's a pretty good shot. Right there, you can see the gold post there, and there, and all the way around the motherboard, where those all lined up. And of course, I had to push it in through the little back plate there. And so now all I gotta do is find the motherboard screws and I'll screw this down. Alright, so I got it in. I'll just show you one screw. So I just went through in all those post spots and put the little screws in. I think there was one over here. Right there. So I just went around and put all those in. So it's kind of nice now, because now the motherboard's in. You don't have to worry about somebody bumping it or getting knocked over or anything. So probably next thing I'm going to look at is the video card. Figure out which bay it's supposed to go into, and then I'll put that in next, most likely. Although, maybe I won't do that next. I gotta start worrying about cable management and get my power cables on there. So maybe I'll plug in, that's one main power supply cable there, and the other one is way on the other side. So maybe I'll probably plug those in next, just to kind of see where my cables are going to end up going. Okay, so all I did was I plugged in what I call my main power supply cable there, and this other smaller one, and just routed them which way seemed the best there. And so I'll probably start hooking up the front panel cables. They're all kind of bundled up right here. So I'll just figure that out and the best way to route those in and plug those in the motherboard next. Alright, these cables, they're not too bad. They're just kind of annoying because they're so small. Each one of them's labeled. Like this one says hard drive audio, or HD audio. So hard drive, probably high definition. And this one says like power switch. This one probably says reset switch. Actually, this is hard drive LED, so you can, LEDs are a little light, so this is the reset switch, and this is the power LED. The ones that say LED just makes lights come on, like when your hard drive is being accessed or your power is on, it just lights up the thing. And this big blue one should be, I believe that's my USB. So all I gotta do is you look on your motherboard documentation, and you gotta route these all in through here. You'll come in on this side and find out wherever they plug in on here. So it's just a matter of finding which cable plugs into which spot. Alright, so all I did at this point was just installed all my cables. You're going to have to look in your user manual to see how to do it. What they call the header cables, the most confusing one. Hopefully I got that one right. And then I kind of rerouted some of these to make it cleaner. Haven't cleaned everything up. Like these are kind of all messed, wild looking. Little things, little tricks you can do is like I routed, this cable was really long, went here, I just routed it around the fan. That kind of tucked it up a little bit, makes it look a little nicer. Also, when stuff's not all gnarly like that, it's more clean like this, you get better airflow. So that's something, good reason, a reason to try to do things a little bit nicer. You know, pleasing to the eye, and also helps a little bit with practicality. Anyways, so next I'm going to look at my video card, which will go in this slot here. And actually I had to clean up these wires because these are all really big ones and they're hanging right here. My video card sits way back here, so I needed to kind of clean this up so I have a nice shot for my video card. My game plan is to take these two slots out and then put it right there. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so I got the graphics card put in. I took those plates out, and I just slid the card in, pushed it in gently but firmly till it clicked into place, and then I put the screws on to hold it down, and then put my power connector on. In my case I had, let's see, 3, so it was had 4 wide and 2 deep, so I guess that's 8. But it's a split model. I guess it's some power connectors don't need all of them, and so you kind of have to hold it together and slide it and push it in, so that's kind of tricky there. But you just look for on all these kind of connectors, they usually have a little lever, and that usually goes to the outside, so that's how you can, and don't force anything. Like the first time I was doing it, I was actually putting it on backwards and it wasn't going, but because I didn't force it, that's when I realized there's a lever on it. And just turn it around, then it went right in. And so that's about it. Like I said, it'll click into place. And so now my graphics card's in. So I'll probably just clean up the wires more, and then should be about it. I think I'm all done. and I'm getting ready to test it out. Alright, so I got her all done. All I did was I used this, this is for tomato plants. It's just Velcro. It's very inexpensive. You can pick it up at hardware stores and stuff. Like, probably Home Depot and stuff sells them. So, all I did was use that on the back here. You know, I took the cover off here and I just organized the cables. They came out pretty nice. And put this glass side back on. And it is all done. It's got a mesh front end. I wish this had more of a bezel to it, but it's not that big of a deal. It's my control buttons up front. I like that. And then just gotta get a monitor for my video card. What is that? Plugs in there? Anyways, and then gotta find where I put my power cable for the power supply. It uses kind of a special cable. In fact, I think I see it over here. It's pretty long. It's got a real beefy end on it, so you just can't use any cable on it. But so, all done, just ready to plug it in, and hopefully it doesn't like catch on fire or something. Anyways, hope this video helps somebody out there. Thank you for watching.